are starting their own businesses. In this episode of the G-Note, we of course featured some of those female entrepreneurs here on Happy Hour. So do you have an idea but don't know just how in the heck to get it off the ground? Well, according to my next guest, the first step is to be true to yourself. Sounds kind of simple, but she'll explain. Kaira Sturdivant Rouda is the author of Real You Incorporated, 8 Essentials for Women Entrepreneurs. Kaira, welcome to Happy Hour.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
So, okay, now, a lot of people at home may sit there and man, I have this great idea for, say, a clothing company, a makeup line, an investment bank, or so forth. How do they get started? What do they do? You say the first step is to be true to yourself. What does that mean?
Right. Well, the key is because you're making a business that's not only about you, but you want to be able to make it yours for a unique competitive advantage. So you've got to start with not only a passionate idea, but what you really want to do in life, like how you want to balance your whole entire life, not just your business. So that's what the first part of the book's about, finding it within yourself so that you can take that and make it a competitive advantage.
And you have the, I was trying to look through the book for the 8 essentials, but I didn't really see a list or anything. Yeah. Is it all just interspersed within?
It goes, each chapter is one of the essentials, so it starts with you, and then your passions, and then your personal brand, and then the next rings, I'll talk about the competitive advantage, things like identifying your target audience, things like knowing your customers, because that's so key. Also, your employees, how do you want to treat them? What kind of culture do you want to make? So that's the second half of the chart.
So somebody reads your book and they're like, okay, I'm good with all that. I know exactly what I want. It's part of me. How do they go about it? I mean, of course, it depends on their business, but the money factor is the big issue. We're a business show. How does somebody go and get the funding for their idea?
And the thing is, finance is still tough for women business. I mean, we all know that it's quite an even playing field still. I just saw the study come out that the SBA only still is giving 3.5% of its contracts to women. That's a problem.
Yeah, and then it actually made it a bit harder. There's a lot of controversy about this. Folks, it's a Small Business Administration, and there's some controversy about the rules changing where it's not as easy for female-owned businesses to get federal contracts, which are very lucrative.
Oh, very lucrative. And the dollars that we've lost over time, the goal is to pass a law that will say at least 5% of those contracts need to go to women-owned businesses. And right now it's only 3.5%, and that ruling still hasn't passed.
So would you suggest somebody taking, for example, a second mortgage on their home to start their business idea, maxing their credit cards, borrowing from friends, stuff like that?
It's tough. I really encourage women to look at traditional financing options too, because we're more inclined to do it that way, to do it kind of on our own.
What's traditional? What do you mean by that?
We're going to a bank, and there are a lot more banks are looking at adding to their portfolio and saying, we really want to focus on X number of dollars in women and women businesses. So there are a lot more avenues that way.
So do you have, I imagine you have to come up with a business plan to pitch it to the bank. How does somebody get advice on how to write that up and go before the bank and say, give me some money?
Well, here's the key, and one of the keys in the book is don't go it alone. Because if you're not comfortable writing a business plan, then you need to find someone to help you do that. The same thing applies to a marketing plan if you're not comfortable doing that. And that is what I talk about. There are 24 women profiled in the book who give you their stories.
I like that. You had real life stories in there and lessons learned as well.
Because I think that's really important too. When we all get together as women and tell each other our stories, I think that really helps not only inspire but show the way.
It's true. I went to a bachelorette party in Kabul recently, and we're all exchanging stories. I had recently joined a book club, and the same thing. It's very, very good networking. Thanks so much. Good luck to you with the book.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
All right, Eric. Eric.